Chris from GNAT News. Today we're in Dorset again and we're on another cool short hike. This time there's more historical stuff to it, which I have no clue about, so I'm bringing in a tried and true professional. Give me a second. Hey, Sean.
So he died in March and he's going to be buried. Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Sean Harrington, curator of the Manchester Historical Society, and I'm here in Delwood Cemetery
Sean.
for another edition of Timestamp.
Sean!
What?
We're on another cool short hike. And there's got historical stuff in it. I don't know it, you know it. Come on and help me
But there's
today.
history buried all around here. I'm busy.
Oh, come on. What would you rather do on such a beautiful day? Go on a cool short hike or hang out with dead people again? I mean, my God, people are starting to talk. Look, 15 minutes tops and we're out of here.
But
come on.
Okay, fine.
Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. So here we are. So what we're gonna do is I just found this place for the first time. I had heard about it. I had heard all the good stuff about it. Sean had told me about it. He had told me about how in the winter they ice skated on it. So today we're gonna actually show it to you. It's becoming very popular. The town of Dorset is trying to figure out what to do about it. So we're gonna take you through it and we're gonna show you all about it. And then Sean's gonna tell us.
I'm going to tell you the history of it, why we're here. It's actually quite interesting. I think you'll like it.
See,
Amy.
that's why he's here.
We'll just make it up.
Now, I was here about a couple weeks ago for the first time. I'm going to grab the camera and I'm just going to talk to you about a few things you need to know right at this parking lot where we are now, and then we're going to hit the road. So let me get the camera and I'll show you. This is the road you're going to get to, and this has the parking lot where you can park. I didn't know there was a parking lot up this nasty little road here, so we all parked with everyone else at the bottom, but you can definitely drive up the road. Here's something to watch out for. There's a very nice, open, inviting gate here. It's kind of a lie. Sean, where does this actually go?
Eventually that ends at Folsom Quarry, and you can actually go up to the cell phone tower, which you can see above East Dorset, but you probably don't want to go up that today.
Right, so for Friedley, did I say that right?
Yeah, Friedley Quarry.
Friedley, you want to take this road, and there's Graham. That's the road you want to take. So Sean, let's hit it.
All right. And Graham, just to show that it's a easy hike, he's here, and it's a family hike.
How old is Graham?
Graham is 11 years old and entering 6th grade at the Manchester Elementary School.
Now, you've done this hike many times. Who would you recommend do not take this hike?
Not take this hike? It's really kind of pretty easy.
Right.
You know.
Wheelchair?
Well, you'd have to make sure it has some hefty tires on it. But, you
need to be in relatively good shape?
Need to be in relatively good shape. It's a fairly flat, I think there's like a 500-foot elevation gain total, which is not a lot, over 2.5 miles.
So I'm gonna tell you, it felt like I was going uphill all the time. I know it wasn't a bad uphill, I'm just saying.
He did it when he was like 3 without a problem. Okay. Wearing Crocs.
All right, let's hit it. Professionally done.
Professionals. Alright, this is a pretty dangerous part because it splits. Do not go up there. Instead, stay on the main road.
So back up, I would say in the early 90s when I first started coming up here, there was actually a community of people living here. There's, this, which is actually, obviously fallen down, but you would come up here and there would be, there'd be trucks, there'd be dogs, there'd be kids, there'd be people kind of looking at you, but if you just walked by nice and quietly, they didn't bother you, you didn't bother them, and it just kind of was what it was. I guess, some people would have called them squatters. I'm not exactly sure what the deal was, but eventually they left, and the remnants of their dwellings continued to collapse into the ground.
seeing, is that a quarry? Is that a foundation? What am I seeing here?
So what you're seeing foundations, and there's actually a number of them. I'm not sure, if you go on LiDAR, which is cool, we'll get into that some other time, you can actually see all these structures that were built right before the quarry. This is where people lived, where the stores were.
He does this, right?
What?
All right, wait, LiDAR. What, well, if you're gonna open up that box, tell me about it.
So it's basically like it removes all the vegetation. You can actually zoom down and you can see old cellar holes. You can see, we'll put the link up. That would be perfect.
Oh, so we're gonna put the link to this spot?
To this spot.
All right, so put this spot.
And then you'll see it.
So was this a town, or was it just a village, or was it just a camp?
It would have been a small community because there were a lot of workers here. There would have been 40, 50, maybe more, mostly Irish. Workers here, and you saw how far we came. They didn't have cars, so when they came up here to work at the quarries, they're working sun up to sundown. Where do you think they slept?
Right.
You know.
And for the folks watching, was this a year-round adventure right here?
Yeah.
Got it. So they were doing it in winter too.
They were doing it in winter.
So then most of the trees were probably gone too.
Yeah, there were no trees because they would have used it for heat, for fire. They would have, it would have all been taken down because they would have had to build the buildings out of wood, and this was all before coal. So you got to figure this is the 1860s, 1870s. Coal wasn't really up here. Wood was the primary source for heat.
Got it. All right, are we halfway?
We're almost there. It's just
almost there.
Once you start seeing the foundations along the right-hand side, you know you're almost there.
All right, let's do this.
Cool.
Are you with me still? Breathe, Jim, breathe. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it.
Don't go up there. Go this way.
And Graham drops the mic. So, Sean, I noticed this the first time I came up here. I thought that this was the entrance, but it turned out for us to be an exit. Is this an entrance?
Well, so here's the thing. There are two entrances or exits. This would not be considered the kinder, softer way because you can see it's usually full of water.
Yeah,
you kind of have to go up and over the side.
Right.
It's easier just to walk another 20 yards and then you'll have the large entrance.
Okay, so stay on the main drag.
Stay on the main drag.
Yes, you're about to enter the quarry. Yes, you could enter here, but the kinder, gentler path is that way.
It's that way. So
All
just
right.
go a little bit farther.
All
the
right.
payoff is worth it.
And Graham, thanks for working the cameraman.
He's the man. So this is the easier, softer way.
And it's beautiful.
And you can't miss it, right? Freedley Quarry opened in 1859. That would be a couple years before the start of the U.S. Civil War, Grammy. And, you know, I mean, we're actually standing in the chimney part right now, where they actually came down into the cave, and then it goes this way. I mean, they took a lot of marble out of here, don't you think? Come on, let's walk over here. They took about 4.2 million cubic feet. That's actually more marble came out of here than out of the swimming quarry. Oh my God, there he goes. We almost lost Haas.
I'm okay.
He's okay. Everybody's okay.
The rocks can get a little slippery. I'm sorry, Sean, you were saying.
That's a lot of marble that they took out of here. And actually, so the marble that they used here was monumental. They used it for pieces. Some of the marble from this quarry actually made it into, guess, the Plaza Hotel, the Drexel building at the corner of Wall and Broad Street, down by where the New York Stock Exchange is, and the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial as well. So, and then, but you figure with 4.2 million cubic feet, that's a lot. I mean, that was more, I think the only quarry they've taken more marble out of is the Danby, the underground quarry, which that'll be another time, but. That'd be a great one. In 1989, as of 1989, in Tyler Rush's book on Dorset, In the Shadow of the Marble Mountain, they had estimated 29 million cubic feet had come out of Danby. But for what we're doing here in Freedley, that's a lot of marble. So,
Can I ask you one quick question?
Sure.
I'm assuming I'll B-roll this, they dug down.
They dug down.
So, or did they dig in?
Well, they came in from multiple directions. What they did was they followed the line of where the marble was. And so obviously it was unusual because they went into the mountain. A lot of times they're pit where they find a spot and they just keep going down and down and down, and they have bilge pumps to keep the water out, which you see all the water that's starting to stand here. That's just a naturally occurring phenomenon.
So that was a dig-in entry point. They were digging through the mountain.
Yeah, they went right into the mountain and then started going out. To get to this room. And then there's a quarry on the other side. I mean, so Freedley isn't just in here in the tunnel. Okay. There's another whole section out there. And then they found, obviously, there was a nice pocket of marble here, so they just kept going down until they stopped. And that's the way they did it. And all these little ledges, you can see all these little ledge marks. Those are the size blocks. And when we go outside, I'll show you where the blocks ended up. It's kind of cool.
And did you tell me already, because I wasn't listening as I was about to fall on my butt over there, when did they stop this?
So 1920, believe it or not.
And why?
Well, at that point, the Vermont Marble Company, which was up in Proctor, they started buying up all of the smaller quarry operations down here and shutting them down. They did the same thing with the Norcross West quarry. They bought that by 1917, and this stayed independent. And they tried working it. There was a mill down at the bottom, which I'll tell you about in a minute. There's a mill down there. It was an independent operation, but eventually, they'd taken all the good marble. It wasn't the best quality marble, and it just kind of, by 1920, they ceased operations. Yeah.
So, what do you? I guess. I'm going to ask you a question in a second, but I'm just curious. Like, what do you think happens to a place like this? I know that the town's not sure who owns it, though it looks like it's theirs, maybe. They have a road up to it. I mean, what do you think happens to places like this? Do they eventually just say they're too dangerous and they fill them in with dirt? Do you think they make beautiful parks? I mean, I guess what do you think you'd like to see happen with this?
Well, as you can see, people have been coming.
Yeah, it feels like.
It's just like, so we have pictures of the Historical Society of when this was in operation, and families would do outings. They'd come up here and they would stand up on the piles of marble and have their picture taken. No different. And once all the workers were gone, people would still come up because they were like, hey, let's go up to see the quarries. There was something to do. And
got it.
So all through history. I mean, we closed in 20s, so 1930s, 40s. We have various pictures of people, doing outings, and some of them you can still see the equipment was still here, and then.
So it's a tradition.
It's a tradition.
So this could be here when we're long gone, 200 years from now.
People will still be coming.
Isn't that cool?
It's a destination.
All right, so I got to tell you, folks, the hike up is a nice hike, and it's not that difficult. I was astounded when I saw what was at the end of this hike and this place. I'm going to try to show it to you, but it is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I know there's a bunch of you that have been here, that this is old news to you. There may be a bunch of you out there that will never take the hike but still want to see this, so I encourage you to watch it. And if you've never been up here, and I've been living in this area my whole life, and I didn't ever know it existed. Apparently it's becoming very popular now because of YouTube. But if you haven't made this, it's a very easy hike. I think the timing, we've been shooting now for 2 hours. But 3 hours, but it's really a hike of about half an hour. All right, I think we've established
We've
water.
established that there's water there. So the one thing that's cool, so there's water here. We're inside. So now just imagine wintertime, what happens? The water freezes. There's no snow because snow can't get in here generally. So you have like a perfect sheet of ice, which makes for great ice skating. So starting back during the Victorian era, they would have skating parties up here. And they still go on, and there are still people who come up in the winter. We are not going to come up here, just for the record, to shoot this during the winter because I'm not spending 5 hours getting up here. Anyway.
Yeah, no thanks, no thanks.
No, but they would come up here and they would have skating parties and build fires over on the side, and it was a wonderful way to get out and enjoy nature.
Okay, so ready? All right. So Sean, I want you to know that you made this much better than I could have ever done, and I really appreciate you helping me. I hope you want to do this again. If you folks liked it, I think we'll do another team up if you'd like to.
That was awesome. We had a great time. Hopefully you use all the pictures that I've been talking about. Graham?
I'm going to use all the pictures, my God. All right.
No, that was. I think this was. Did you learn something and find it informative?
I really like combining the cool short hike with history, so I think we should do another one of these combo things.
We could probably find something. I'm going to ask for a raise, and maybe if you could pick a day when it's a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
Maybe since it was 90% humidity, maybe we could find a day when it's 95%.
I know. All right. So, anyways, you can go back to your show.
Right.
I really appreciate it. You have to go that way to get back into your show, though.
Graham, let's go.
You just got to get back in the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
See ya, sweat machine.
So he died in March and he's going to be buried. Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Sean Harrington, curator of the Manchester Historical Society, and I'm here in Dellwood Cemetery.